It was supposed to be a light-hearted morning interview, a cozy chat between Lorraine Kelly and one of Britain's most beloved actors, Colin Firth. But what began as polite banter quickly spiraled into one of the most uncomfortable moments ever aired on live television. Lorraine's studio, bathed in cheerful yellow lighting, was buzzing with excitement that morning. Fans were eager to see the Oscar-winning star of The King's Speech and Pride and Prejudice talk about his latest film, The Quiet Gentleman. Firth, known for his calm demeanor and polished manners, walked in wearing a navy blue suit and that familiar, gentle smile. Nobody, not even Lorraine, could have predicted the storm that was about to unfold. From the moment the cameras rolled, something felt off. Lorraine, always known for her warm tone, started the interview with an unusually sharp question. "So, Colin," she said, crossing her legs, "many people say your new film is just another version of the roles you've always played, the quiet, repressed Englishman. Do you ever think you're, well, stuck?" Colin's smile faltered slightly. He adjusted his tie and chuckled politely. "Well, I suppose one could say that, but I do try to explore different shades of those characters. I think there's more depth to them than meets the eye." Lorraine leaned in, pressing further. "But isn't it a bit safe? I mean, after all these years, wouldn't your fans like to see something different? Maybe a role with a bit more emotion?" The studio audience chuckled nervously. Firth's expression tightened. "I think you'll find," he replied coolly, "that emotion doesn't always have to be loud to be real." That was the moment things began to shift. Lorraine smiled sweetly, but her tone carried an edge. "Of course, but perhaps audiences want more than the same restrained gentleman every time. Don't you ever get bored of playing yourself?" Colin blinked slowly. "Playing myself," he repeated, his voice low but steady. "That's quite an assumption, Lorraine. Acting, as you might imagine, involves a bit more than standing around being oneself." There was a visible chill in the air. Lorraine, realizing she had touched a nerve, tried to lighten the mood with a laugh. "Oh, come on, Colin, you know what I mean. You've made a career out of being the charming, brooding Brit. Surely even you must get tired of that sometimes." But the damage was done. Firth sat back, folding his hands. "I'm rather proud of the work I've done," he said sharply. "I don't think I owe anyone an apology for consistency." The control room was reportedly in chaos. Producers gestured frantically for Lorraine to change the subject, but she pushed ahead, sensing the tension made for good TV. "Well," she said, smiling too brightly, "some critics think you've been playing it too safe since The King's Speech. Maybe it's time for a scandalous role, something to shock people a little." Colin's jaw clenched. "I didn't realize the goal was to shock people. I thought it was to move them." That line drew scattered applause from the audience, but Lorraine, feeling her authority slip, laughed awkwardly. All right, calm down, Colin. Don't be so serious. We're just having a chat." Firth's response was cool, almost icy. "You invited me here to talk about my film, not to ridicule my career choices." The tension became unbearable. Lorraine's smile froze as she muttered something about just doing her job. But Firth had had enough. He stood up, took off his microphone, and looked straight at her. "With respect, Lorraine," he said evenly, "I think we're done here." The studio fell silent. Lorraine, visibly flustered, tried to laugh it off. "Oh, don't be silly. Sit down, we're live." But Colin didn't. He gave a polite nod to the crew and walked off the set, leaving Lorraine staring after him, speechless for once in her long career. Cameras quickly cut to a commercial break, but the internet had already exploded. Within minutes, hashtags like #Colin Firth walkout and #Lorraine live drama were trending across social media. Viewers were divided. Some accused Lorraine of being rude and disrespectful, while others claimed Firth had overreacted to simple criticism. When the show returned, Lorraine tried to maintain her trademark composure, but the sparkle was gone. "Well," she said awkwardly, "that was unexpected. We'll be right back after this." Behind the scenes, staff rushed to calm the situation. Colin reportedly refused to return to the studio, leaving through a side exit while journalists and photographers swarmed outside. Later that afternoon, a brief statement was released by Firth's publicist. Mr. Firth was invited to discuss his latest film but felt the interview became unnecessarily personal and disrespectful. He has no further comment. Lorraine, meanwhile, faced mounting criticism for her tone. By evening, clips of the confrontation had racked up millions of views on YouTube. Comment sections were flooded with messages like, "Good for Colin," and "Lorraine crossed the line." As for Colin Firth, he remained silent, dignified as always. But insiders close to the actor hinted that he had been deeply disappointed by the experience and had no plans to appear on Lorraine's show again. What was meant to be a simple morning chat had turned into one of the most talked about TV moments of the year, and a reminder that even the calmest English gentleman has his limits. The fallout from the explosive interview didn't die down overnight. By the next morning, every major British outlet had picked up the story. The Daily Mail called it, "Colin Firth's on-air meltdown," while The Guardian ran a headline that read, "Colin Firth walks off Lorraine, a clash of class and composure." Lorraine Kelly, who had hosted hundreds of interviews without controversy, suddenly found herself at the center of a national debate. Viewers flooded ITV's inbox, half demanding an apology to Firth, the other half defending Lorraine's right to ask tough questions. By noon, clips of the confrontation had reached over 5 million views online. On Twitter or X, hashtags like #TeamColin and #TeamLorraine trended side by side. One viral comment summed up the chaos perfectly. "Greater than, Lorraine forgot she was interviewing Mr. Darcy, not arguing with him." Meanwhile, Colin Firth stayed completely silent. He didn't post on social media, didn't speak to reporters, and cancelled his remaining press appearances for The Quiet Gentleman. His close friend and co-star, Emily Watson, told BBC Breakfast that Firth was hurt and shocked by how the conversation unfolded. "Greater than, Colin's the kindest man," she said. "He's not confrontational at all. But everyone has a limit, and I think Lorraine just pushed him too far that day." Inside ITV headquarters, tension was high. Lorraine's producers held an emergency meeting, fearing that Firth's walkout might hurt their reputation. A few insiders even leaked that Lorraine had been sternly advised by executives to issue a public apology. The next morning, Lorraine returned to her familiar couch, trying to sound cheerful, but there was a hint of nervousness in her tone. As the cameras rolled, she addressed the elephant in the room. "Now," she began, forcing a smile, "before we start today's show, I just want to say something about what happened yesterday with Colin Firth." She paused, taking a breath. "Live TV can be unpredictable. Things got a bit heated, and I regret if my questions came across as disrespectful. Colin is an incredible actor, and I have nothing but admiration for him." The apology was brief but heartfelt. However, reactions were mixed. Some viewers appreciated her acknowledgement, while others accused her of saving face under pressure. Colin's team, still silent, finally broke the calm 2 days later. His publicist released a short message. "Greater than, Mr. Firth appreciates Lorraine's words and accepts her apology. He looks forward to focusing on his work and engaging with audiences through his films." It seemed like the matter was finally closing, until an unexpected behind-the-scenes clip surfaced online. An anonymous staffer had leaked footage from during the commercial break right after Firth walked off. In the video, Lorraine could be seen muttering under her breath, clearly frustrated. "Greater than, well, some people just can't take a little honesty." That clip reignited the fire. Fans accused Lorraine of being two-faced, while others defended her as merely venting off camera. Memes flooded social media, one showing Firth as Mr. Darcy walking dramatically out of the studio, captioned, "You have insulted me for the last time, madam." Despite the online chaos, Colin's reputation only grew stronger. The Quiet Gentleman premiered to standing ovations at the London Film Festival the following week. Critics praised Firth's emotional subtlety and timeless dignity, words that felt like poetic justice after Lorraine's comments. During a press conference at the festival, a journalist inevitably asked him about the talk show incident. For a moment, Firth smiled faintly and said, "Greater than, yes, that. I think we all have moments where the line between performance and personality gets blurred. Let's just say, I prefer to save my drama for the screen." The crowd burst into laughter, and that one graceful sentence ended the entire controversy. As for Lorraine, she quietly avoided any further mention of Colin on her show. Some insiders claimed she reached out privately to mend things, and though Colin never spoke about it again, sources close to him said he accepted her apology, like a gentleman. In the weeks that followed, Both stars went on with their lives, Firth winning praise for his latest film, and Lorraine continuing her popular morning program. Yet for many viewers, that fiery exchange became legendary, a rare moment where two icons of British television collided live before millions. It was awkward, dramatic, and unforgettable, the kind of unscripted truth that no movie could ever capture. And in the end, perhaps that's why it became so iconic. Because for once, Colin Firth wasn't playing Mr. Darcy or a king with a stammer. He was just being himself, proud, composed, and undeniably human.